a dictator without elections. Zelensky better move fast or he's not going to have a country left.
President Trump claiming that Ukraine's President Zelensky is a dictator who is refusing to call elections. It's utterly ridiculous, patently untrue, outright false and misleading. Take your pick from all or any of those. President Zelensky is the democratically elected leader of a sovereign country who is bravely standing against the illegal invasion of Ukraine by a murderous actual dictator called Vladimir Putin.
Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine.
Whilst it's correct that Zelensky's first 5-year term of office was due to come to an end in May 2024, Ukraine has understandably been under martial law since the Russian invasion in February 2022, which means elections are suspended. In November, all parties in Ukraine's parliament backed postponing elections until the war's end, and Zelensky has vowed to hold a new election once the conflict itself ends. Ukraine's law banning presidential, parliamentary and local elections during wartime was passed in 2015, well before Zelensky was elected.
Yeah, I would say that, when they want a seat at the table, you could say the people have to, wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, it's been a long time since we've had an election.
It's perfectly reasonable to suspend elections during wartime. In fact, the UK didn't hold elections during World War II. Does Trump think Churchill was a dictator? Polls from last autumn showed that 56% of Ukrainians were against holding elections during wartime. And most politicians critical of Zelensky believe that now is not the right time for elections.
The leader in Ukraine, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating.
Another wild, wholly inaccurate and patently false claim from Trump, again mimicking actual dictator Vladimir Putin, that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has an approval rating of just 4%. Trump later repeated the wholly unsubstantiated claim.
It's low in the real Ukrainian polls. How can you be high with every city is being demolished?
Imagine his shock when someone tells him that as of December 2024, Zelensky's approval rating was reported to be around 52%. That's according to surveys by the Kyiv International Institute of Sociology. Just contrast that with Donald Trump's most recent approval rating, which is around 48%. That's right, Trump's approval rating is actually less than Zelensky's. As for this,
every city is being demolished.
That tends to happen when an actual dictator, in this case Putin, invades your country.
But you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it.
Well, to be clear, it was Putin who, again for President Trump's benefit, is an actual dictator. A murderous monster who presides over a barbaric regime, who started the biggest land war in Europe since Hitler with his completely unprovoked and illegal invasion of Ukraine.
On the 24th of February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Their army attacked from Belarus, from Russia and Crimea that they previously annexed. Facts matter. We have a responsibility to be clear when something is not true.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine was widely condemned by the international community as an act of aggression. And Putin's actions have killed hundreds of thousands of Russians and Ukrainians, and maimed many more. But Trump, who appears shamelessly intent on cozying up to Putin and the Kremlin, now won't even mention it. And let's not forget that to deter Moscow from launching the invasion, the US declassified and released intelligence reports exposing Russia's plans to attack, warning that harsh economic sanctions would follow if the Kremlin proceeded.
In journalism, it's important to reflect both sides of an argument, to listen, to try and understand nuance and different perspectives, to be aware of your own bias. But it's also important to call out and state the facts, and to call out facts that are simply untrue.
Absolutely right.